Howdy y'all, I'm JJ Rawson, I'm KI5HSH, and today I'd like to talk about ham radio transmission on a DSTAR radio. So first things first, you're going to want your ICOM radio, and this is going to primarily be an instruction on how to use an ICOM ID-51A, but thankfully ICOM has a very similar user interface on all of their products, so this should be a general guide for all of their radios. Now, we're on the main screen right now. I've got the dual opened up right now, but we're going to go back to main, because when you're monitoring a DSTAR repeater, you're only going to be using the one screen. So then we're going to press and hold DR for digital repeater. And then we're going to connect to our local repeater. So obviously the from is where we are transmitting from. At the moment I am in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and that's something like 60 miles away, so that's not where I'm from. But 2 is where we are wanting to go. Now CQ, as we all know, is your calling, but for any of you new hams, CQ is going to be the open call, just sending your radio signal out to everyone. The way to remember that, though this is not the true origin of the phrase, but CQ sounds like seek you. So when you're on that, you are seeking anyone. Now we will click the enter, go to near repeater, and then we will go to DV. That's our digital voice as opposed to FM frequency modulation. Now I will go to K5URR Bravo. I also have Charlie, the difference being that Charlie is for, and this is always the case on repeaters, the C is going to be for your VHF transmissions, and the B is going to be for your ultra-high frequency transmissions. Now we are connected to our local repeater, and when we are on CQ, we are just sending out traffic to anyone connected to the DSTAR repeater. But say we want to go and do something larger, like we want to connect to the mega repeater in London, England. We want to go to reflector 001 Charlie. What we will do is we will go and click the enter on 2. Now, you can use the knob for this, but I'm just going to use the arrows. You can input all the information manually through direct input UR and RPT, but since ICOM has been so gracious as to give us a little shortcut, I say we take advantage of that. So we will go to the reflector menu. Then we will link to the reflector. An important thing is the echo test. We won't be getting into that, but essentially after you link to the reflector you want to use, you can come here, and you can test your connection. But before we can test it, we need to link to it. So we're going to link, and we will do direct input, though. Reflector 053 Alpha is the Albuquerque repeater. Highly recommended on Thursday nights, little self-plug. But we will go into direct input. Now, I've already got it set to 001 Charlie, but you could just swing it around and go to any number you want, and then press the CS, your side button, to change the letter. Now, say I want to do reflector 040 Alpha. Then we would press the push to talk button and send a signal. Now, because this little shortcut menu has everything already set up in it, you will not need to transmit anything, but whenever I transmit, I always try to say my call sign so that way I don't mess with any FCC violations. But once we are linked to it, we'll go back to the reflector menu, and then because we want to use the reflector, we'll set that up. Now, you can talk away, you can be on the reflector talking to everyone, and a key thing to note is that when you are connected to a reflector, anyone on the repeaters that are able to connect to that reflector will be connected to that radio traffic. So it's always important to be polite when operating. So once we are done operating, we will come down to reflector and unlink from it. That's an important note, because if you don't, then you are leaving the gateway open for all the traffic connected to that reflector and mitigating all your local traffic. So we'll press the push to talk again, unlink from the repeater. I usually do that by saying my call sign again, and then you can go back in to local or gateway CQ. Another fun thing, though, similar to the reflector work, and this is just a quick one, is we will go to our gateway CQ, pick the area that we want to be in. ICOM also has some presets on their radios, and so say I want to get in touch with my friend in Texas. I will click on the Midwest, because Texas is in the Midwest according to ICOM. I will click Denton, W5NGU Bravo, and then I can do it just like I'm on a regular frequency modulating repeater, or like I'm doing regular simplex work. It's just that easy, and it's always good fun to have this direct connection as opposed to reflector work. So, hope that was helpful for everyone, and I hope to see you on the air. KI5HSH 73s.